The Cara Williams Show is brought to you by Crest. Crest, the toothpaste that's been clinically tested against cavities. The toothpaste for families who want fewer cavities.
Back at Howe Military School, we always marched together. Well, almost always. Once we were split up on purpose for a toothpaste test. Each group brushed 3 times a day for 2 years, but with a different toothpaste. And mine reduced cavities 46%, almost half. Later we learned it was Crest. The others used the same toothpaste, but without Fluorestan. Since then, it's regular checkups, watch between meal treats, and brush often with Crest.
This seal and statement signify that Crest toothpaste is accepted by the Council on Dental Therapeutics of the American Dental Association.
That's the way it happened back when I was at school. My group had 46% fewer cavities with Crest.
Yes, Mr. Burkhardt, I'll call her. Yes, Mr. Burkhardt, I'll tell her to go down there right away. Yes, sir. Yes. Storm warnings.
Squall or hurricane?
He got a memo from Fisher upstairs.
Fisher?
The hatchet man from Systems and Procedural Analysis. Mr. Burkhardt said the memo was absolutely snide and insulting.
Typhoon. Good morning, Mr. Burkhardt.
Yeah.
This is absolutely snide and insulting.
Exactly what I said.
Maybe Mr. Fisher didn't mean it to sound so contemptuous.
But don't tell me about Fisher. He's been a close personal friend of mine for years. I know exactly how contemptible he is.
Well, why don't I have Miss Wilton get out the Watson file and we'll get to the bottom of this.
I've already sent it to the inactive files for the Watson papers. Sit down.
Where's the W? W. But you know what? At the bottom. Oh. Oh, here it is. Crickets? Swinging crickets?
Hello, dear. Glad you dropped in. I wondered when somebody was going to say hello. Big businesses certainly standoffish, isn't it?
Who are you?
Amelia Hoffstetter. I came here 2 years ago when Fenwick Diversified bought Watson and Company. I was with Watson for 49 years, never missed a day, unless you count the afternoon I took off for Preston Harding's funeral. But I didn't catch your name, dearie.
I'm Cara. Cara Wilton.
Well, it's a small world. My nephew Jack's wife was named Clara, too.
No, not Clara. Cara.
Yes, Clara was a whack in the war. We used to call her Jack's whack.
I never knew there was a room here, behind all those boxes. Would you mind telling me just exactly what you're doing here?
Why don't you relax, Mr. Burkhardt? I'm sure the Watson files will give us a clue to all this.
I don't want a clue. I want a good, sound explanation. If I can't explain to Fisher why a defunct company we bought as a tax loss is continuing to cost us money, he'll never get off my back.
I've kept myself busy the last 2 years working on curtains and all.
Paper clips.
Makes it cozier in here, doesn't it? Then, of course, I work on my private surveys. For instance, did you know that the building across the street has 1,386 windows in it, 22 up and 63 across?
No, I didn't know that.
And one of every 5 out-of-state's license plates is from Nevada.
Imagine that.
You see, I don't just sit around wasting my time.
No, I can see that.
Let me give you a cup of tea. Now, sugar?
No, thank you.
Oh, good. I don't have any. When I worked for Watson and Company, I had a really important job.
I'll bet you did.
I worked on booklets, collating, folding, stapling, and sometimes around the holidays, deckling.
Deckling?
Deckling. But then Watson went bankrupt, and Fenwick bought us out, and I was transferred here. It's more of a trip on the bus every morning, but I haven't been late once.
Miss Hoffstetter, I don't know how to tell you this, but nobody from Watson and Company was transferred here. All the personnel was dismissed.
Oh, but you're wrong about that. I've been receiving my paycheck regularly for 26 months now.
But you can't be. I made out the termination slips myself. Here, I'll show you. There it is right there, see? Personnel. Here we are, Gurney, Hawkins, Hendricks. That's funny, I don't see a Hoffstetter.
Here I am.
Where?
Right here on this list of miscellaneous machinery.
I see that. A Heidelberg color gravure, 2 Ludlow lino casters, a Davidson, a photocopy, a Hoffstetter.
A Hoffstetter, that's me, Amelia Hoffstetter.
But it can't be.
Well, there's my salary, $87.50 a week.
Oh, no. How did I ever make a mistake like that? I lumped you in with the linotype machinery.
Well, your boss wouldn't fire you for one little boo-boo, would he, dearie?
You don't know Mr. Burkhardt.
Oh, then he doesn't have to know me either.
Well, how can I keep it from him? I found this door, and you tell me you've been using the side door to get in here. They're bound to catch you sooner or later.
Oh, pooh. I've been a secret for 2 years, and I'm not going to tell anybody and be responsible for a nice girl like you losing her job. Turnabout's fair play. Right, Clara?
You certainly took long enough. Did you go to a tea party?
A tea party? Why, what makes you say that, Mr. Burkhardt?
Just a figure of speech. Well, Fisher dug up another item on the Watson Company. $160 for paper clips in the past 2 years.
Oh, well, that doesn't sound like a lot of money to me. I mean, for 2 whole years.
It is for a company that doesn't exist. Miss Wilton, could I please have the Watson files for just a little while? I promised to return it when I finished.
Oh, terribly sorry, sir, of course.
Yo, $160 for paper clips.
Oh, well, I think I can explain the paper clips, sir.
You can?
It's for that machine we got from Watson and Company.
What machine?
The Hoffstetter.
Let me look at that inventory.
Oh, there it is. See, sir? A Hoffstetter.
Ah, what's this $87.50 next to it? It can't be for royalties.
Oh, that's what it must be, Mr. Burkhardt. That's brilliant. Must be a weekly royalty.
Well, it couldn't be anything else.
That's quite a royalty for what must be a tired old machine by now.
Well, you'd be tired, too, if you hadn't missed a day in 49 years. Except for President Harding's funeral.
What? Yes, what?
Oh, I mean, just because the machine isn't young and new, that is, doesn't mean that it isn't reliable.
Are you familiar with this machine?
Oh, yes, we met. No, I mean, I've seen it, that is.
Well, what exactly does a Hoffstetter do?
Oh, I remember. That's right. It folds It collates, it staples, and sometimes it even decals.
It wattles?
Decals. Oh, but it'd be silly for me to explain a Hoffstetter machine and deckling to you, Mr. Burkhart. Why, down in the print shop, they say that you're a mechanical genius. They say that you can take a machine apart and put it right back together again blindfolded. Oh, they got a lot of respect for you down there, Mr. Burkhart. Yes, sir.
Well, I do have a mechanical knack. You might call it American know-how.
What is deckling?
Well, everybody knows what deckling is, don't they, Mr. Burkhart?
Of course, everybody knows.
I don't. What is it, sir?
Well, when you deckle something, you feed things in and you come out deckled.
Right. Sure, I deckle, you deckle, he deckles.
Thank you, Miss
the whole
Wilton.
world Oh. Well, if you'll excuse me, sir. Oh, I wouldn't worry about the Hoffstetter, sir. She's worth every penny she cost.
She?
Well, what else would you call a machine? Right, Mr. Burkhart?
Right. You know, it always amazes me how much Miss Wilton knows about things that are of no immediate concern to her. Before she mentioned it, I didn't even know we had a Hoffstetter here. Why don't we run down to the print shop and have a first-hand look at it? No. It's been a long time since I've seen a Hoffstetter. Bridges, now I'll show you some real deckling.
Well, Mr. Burkhart, it's quite an honor to have you visit the print shop.
Hello, Grady. We came to look at the Hoffstetter.
The Hoffstetter. Look at what?
The Hoffstetter. The old machine that collates, staples, folds, and decals.
Deckle.
We're interested in seeing what kind of shape it's in.
Oh, sure. You want to see the Hoffstetter.
Well, what's the problem?
Oh, there's no problem. There's no problem at all. It's just that, you see, my assistant Denning, he really is much more familiar with the, Where the heck's the Hoffstetter?
The who said?
The little machine that collates, staples, folds, and decals.
Decals?
Will you stop repeating everything I say? Just find it and show it to Mr. Burkhart. Mr. Burkhart, Denning will help you.
Oh, so you want to see how the old Hoffstetter works, huh?
If you don't mind.
To tell the truth, I can't show you how it works right now, because it ain't working right now. You know those old machines. We got it all tore down for a cleaning and new bearings.
When will it be back in operation?
How's about we call you when she's on her feet again?
Do that as soon as possible.
Oh, Mr. Grady, don't take this wrong, but when a ship is sinking, it's the captain who's supposed to go down with it, not the assistant foreman.
Amelia! Amelia, listen to me.
There goes another one from Texas, Clara.
Amelia, will you forget about license plates? This is an emergency.
I wasn't counting license plates. I was counting men with high-heel boots. What do you mean, emergency?
Somehow my boss, Mr. Burkhart, got the idea that you're a machine. We've got to do something right away or we're in trouble.
What do you mean, we, Clara? I'm doing all right.
Mr. Burkhart wants to see a sample of your work. What do you need to deckle?
Well, at Watson's, we had this great big machine, but I can deckle with the pinking shears just as well.
Pinking shears?
Yes, look here, see?
You mean, that's it? Well, I can't understand it. Why is everybody so excited about deckling?
Now, this is deckling.
From the Hoffstetter, sir.
I don't see where it's worth $87.50 a week, sir.
Oh, I can't agree with you, Bridges. I find it quite unique, very impressive, and important looking. You're just not a decal man.
Oh. Oh, no, that would be a dirty trick.
What would be a dirty trick?
What?
Fisher's study on travel time is in the print shop. Mr. Fenwick is scheduled to get a copy. Why don't we...
Run it through the Hoffstetter?
Run it through the hop. That is a dirty trick.
Bridges, I like the way you think.
Actually, I thought of it before, but the Hoffstetter wasn't working.
But it's working now.
Yes, sir.
Miss Wilson, tell Grady to run the study through the Hoffstetter.
Well, how many copies would there be, sir? About half a dozen?
500?
500? Oh, no. I don't think the Hoffstetter can handle all that.
500 isn't much for a machine. I mean, she's just been cleaned and has new bearings.
Well, I guess there's no particular rush.
No rush at all.
Good.
As long as it's ready for distribution by tomorrow morning.
There's a wonderful world of softness, a wonderful world of freshness. It's the wonderful, wonderful, wonderful world of Salem cigarettes.
Salem softness freshens your taste. Salem softness freshens your taste.
Smoke Salem cigarettes.
Salem gives you a modern filter, plus rich tobacco taste, smoothed with menthol, softened with fresh air. For Salem's special paper breathes in fresh air with every puff to bring you Salem's air-softened taste.
There's a wonderful world of softness, a wonderful world of freshness. It's the wonderful, wonderful, wonderful world of Salem cigarettes.
Salem softness freshens your taste.
Cara, will you please explain to me what we're doing down here?
I've been trying to tell you, Frank, but you're always talking to Burkhardt. You'll see now.
Where are we going?
Mr. Bridges, I'd like to introduce the collating, stapling, folding, and deckling machine, Miss A. Hoffstetter.
Well, what a fine-looking young gentleman. Any friend of Clara's is a friend of mine.
Well, how do you do, Miss Hoffstetter?
Amelia Hoffstetter.
The Hoffstetter?
The Hoffstetter.
Is this smart, dearie? I thought it was going to be our little secret.
Oh, don't worry, Amelia. Mr. Bridges wouldn't do anything to risk losing my friendship. See, Mr. Bridges and I are married.
What's he trying to measure, Clara?
He's trying to figure out the quickest way to put those booklets together. That's a slide rule. He's an efficiency expert.
Mercy, doesn't he realize it's after 7 already? I gotta go home and feed the cat and the canary.
We had to wait till everybody left the print shop so we could get started.
Well, I can always use a little overtime.
Overtime? Amelia, you're not getting paid for this. We're doing this to save your job.
And yours too, dearie.
All right, ladies. Now, this conveyor belt not only sets the speed of the work, but also establishes the most efficient rhythm for the worker.
What's he trying to do, automate us? I don't think I like him.
All right, now this will be my station here. I'll collate the pages and the cover. 4.3 seconds, Cara. This will be your station here. You all fold. 2.4 seconds. Miss Hoffstetter?
Don't pat me, young man. We just met.
This will be your station here. You will staple them together. 5.3 seconds. Now, are we clear? I collate, you fold, she staples.
You collate, I fold, she staples. Who deckles?
Miss Hoffstetter will staple and deckle. I've allowed for that.
Are you kidding? You want me to double up jobs and at no overtime?
Never mind, Frank. I'll fold and deckle.
Fine. Now, we should be able to assemble one booklet every 12 seconds. That's 5 per minute, or 1 hour and 40 minutes for the whole job.
He's one of those talkers. I know the type. They never keep a job.
Ladies, let's take our stations. All right, let's try it.
This is a breeze. Easy. Simple.
Very good, ladies. Now we'll go at full speed. Cara, you collate. Oh, you ladies. Now, look, this is a man's work. Why don't you two ladies just sit down and watch an old efficiency expert work, hmm?
Yes, Martha, I'll be home as soon as I can. Goodbye. I haven't forgotten. Miss Hammelmeyer, I was about to buzz you. Get me Grady in the print shop.
Yes, sir. Oh, and one of the employees wants to see you. She says she has a complaint.
Well, I've got no time for complaints. Let her talk to the head of a department.
I'm the only one in my department.
Bless my soul, it's a dear, sweet little old lady. Sit down, my dear. Sit down.
Thank you.
Make yourself comfortable. Now then, what can I do for you?
So you're Mr. Burkhardt?
I don't believe I'm familiar with you.
Well, please see that you don't get familiar. I'm a lady.
Sure you are.
And you're the head man in this rat race.
I don't believe I've met you, Miss,
Hoffstetter, Amelia. And I've got big news for you, Mr. Burkhardt. I'm not working that hard for any crummy $87.50 a week.
It's quite a machine, isn't it, Grady? The Hoffstetter, I mean.
Oh, yes, sir. It's a beauty. But, Denning here is much more familiar with it than I am.
Really?
Well, the one who really deserves the credit is Mr. Grady. He's the one that keeps it running.
I see. Bridges?
Yes, sir?
You originally expressed some doubt that the Hoffstetter was worth a royalty of $87.50 a week. How do you feel about it now?
Well, I think, now that I've seen her in operation, I think she's worth every penny of it, sir.
Sorry I'm late, Mr. Burkhardt.
Come in, sit down. What's your feeling, Miss Wilton?
Just fine, thank you. What's yours? Oh, I'm sorry. About what?
About the Hoffstetter, I mean. Is it worth what it's costing us?
Oh, every penny. I think it's a marvelous machine.
Then you all agree that the Hoffstetter is necessary to the Fenwick operation?
Oh, absolutely, sir.
Oh, yes. In that case, we have a problem. Because the Hoffstetter just packed its pinking shears and tea kettle and quit. She told me to say goodbye to you, Miss Wilton, and to you, Mr. Bridges. And off she went, dragging $160 worth of paper clips behind her.
Sir, I think I should take full responsibility for this.
Oh, no, Mr. Bridges. I don't want you to be a gentleman on my account. Mr. Burkhardt, the whole thing is my fault. I just felt sorry for the poor, dear little old lady.
And it had nothing to do with the mistake you made when you transferred that poor, dear little old lady here.
Why, that little squealer?
Got carried away. There's been no harm done, has there?
No harm, Bridges. Are you aware that Mr. Fenwick wants 10,000 copies of the annual report run off on a Hoffstetter? Do you want to take it from there?
No, sir.
You realize the ridiculous position this puts me in. Can't you see what that brass polisher Fisher up there will do with this on his inter-office memos? I'll be the laughing stock of the top 3 floors. Or are there any suggestions?
Oh, well, sir, even though the Hoffstetter's quit, maybe I could put on 2 men and get it started again. Now, Denning here...
Shut up. Any other suggestions?
Well, Mr. Burkhardt, as far as I can see, there's really only one sensible way to handle the situation.
What's that?
Well, you collate, I fold, he staples, and he decals. Or, Denning decals, I fold, he collates, and he staples.
If you think you have a tough dirt problem, look at those filthy clothes.
If you had to get them white, which detergent would you use? Well, where clothes get dirtiest, people use power-boosted Cheer to get them white. And now, all the National Football League laundries use Cheer. This is Ed Catcher, who washes the New York Giants uniforms.
Boy, they certainly messed these up this week, didn't they? But of course, that's consistent with the football team. They usually get all of this ground in embedded soil. And believe it or not, they expect me to get these sparkling white. With the help of Cheer and myself, we've been able to do this. We're able to make what normally seems an impossible job come out spanking white, week after week.
Cheer's changed, and where clothes get dirtiest, people use power-boosted Cheer to get them white. Cheer, the detergent of the National Football League.
Oh, no, sir. I think you've been very lenient with me. After all, you only demoted me to the receptionist pool. Could have been worse, I guess.
I hope you've learned a lesson.
Oh, I have, sir, believe me. From now on, any little old ladies I run across will be strictly on their own.
Bridges, you're the efficiency expert around here. Now, how do you recommend we keep Fisher from finding out about this mess?
Frankly, I haven't the vaguest idea, sir.
There is something. No, it's a dirty trick.
I don't want to hear it. On who?
Mr. Fisher?
Let's hear it.
Well, Mr. Fisher thought the Hoffstetter was a machine also. And on the tax return, he's been depreciating it at 20% a year.
Wonderful. Well, that's just as foolish as what we did.
Worse. It's probably illegal as well.
Miss Wilson, I want you to dig down into the files and get me everything you can on Fisher.
Oh, I couldn't possibly do that, Mr. Burkhardt.
Why not?
Well, only a chief file clerk would have the authority to do a thing like that. I'm only in the receptionist pool.
Well, I think you've learned your lesson. As of now, you're reinstated as chief file clerk. You understand?
Yes, sir, Mr. Burkhardt. Thank you, sir.
Can you see Fisher's face?
20%?
Dirty trick!
The Cara Williams Show has been brought to you by new power-boosted Cheer, the detergent people use to get even the dirtiest clothes white again. New power-boosted Cheer.
Cara!